Make or break week for the president's campaign. Let's bring in Brian Gardner, Stifel's senior Washington policy analyst. Brian, great to have you with us. Make or break, and you actually put odds on your belief that Biden will stay on the race. So what are the odds that he drops out or stays in?
So I think it's about a 40% chance that he drops out, which means there's a 60% chance, more likely than not, that he's going to stay in. I mean, I never underestimate Joe Biden's determination, stubbornness. These are traits that have served him his entire career. And I think that, he's probably leaning into that stubbornness right about now.
I mean, this is all interesting political theater to watch, Brian, but does it has it impacted your odds in terms of how you think about who will win the election if Biden actually stays in or if he's replaced?
I think the debate changed my odds. I thought Trump was a favorite going into the debate, and those odds went up. Now, there is a cap, right? Because there is a certain level of voter that is just never going to vote for Donald Trump no matter what. And Democrats controlling the electoral votes of several large states, you can never overestimate Republicans' chances of winning the presidency. But certainly Trump's chances have gone up post-debate. So, yeah, it's Biden is in a difficult spot. And I kind of tied it back. I thought your opening segment on the consumer was just fascinating in political terms, because the consumer, Biden really needs, right? And that segment of the consumer that's feeling a little stressed right now, Biden's job approval number is driven by his numbers on the economy. They're not good numbers. And what you guys were painting was a picture of a consumer that's not going to feel a lot better in the months leading into the election. That's another problem for Biden.
Brian, it's Karen. Thanks for being on today. Has this number, this 40-60 number, has that changed in the last few days?
Yeah, it changed with the debate. I mean, to be honest with you, I've kind of floated back and forth a little bit. I was always a 20% guy throughout the entire cycle, because you have to go in with some level of recognition that the president, with his age, could just decide one day that he was not up for the job and up for serving a second term. In February, I raised the odds to 40% when the special counsel's report came out. It was pretty damning in terms of the president's ability to do the job, his mental capacity. Then you follow that up with the State of the Union, an aggressive push by the White House afterwards to get him back out on the road. And I took it back down to 20. After debate, you got to go back to 40. But I can never get over that 50% mark just because of what I mentioned before. Joe Biden's stubbornness, his determination, they think they can do the job. And on the stubbornness, Biden loves to prove the smart kids in the Democratic Party wrong. So the more he hears voices from the elites that he needs to get out, the more he digs in his heels.
Brian, this is Lori Calvasina. When you talk to investors, are you sensing that they're ready to put on trades that are similar to what they did for Trump back in 2016? And do you think that's the right thing to do? Are you sensing that people are really, wanting to go back to that historical playbook? And do you agree that that's the right approach?
No, going back to the fall in conversations, you could just see a move in conversations with investors, both retail and institutional, that there was a growing belief that Trump would be the winner in November. So I think that's kind of been playing out for months. Now, I think it's a mistake to think that we're going to repeat 2016. 2016 was a surprise. It was a surprise to most people, including the Trump folks. It was a surprise to the election. This is not a surprise. If he wins, we will see this coming. So that kind of dilutes the impact. That being said, we get to the election, the day after the election. If there is a clear winner in November, on November 5th, I think the market rallies after that just on clarity. It probably rallies more with Trump than with Biden. But if there's a clear winner, I just think the relief that we have avoided some kind of chaos and civil unrest is a positive for the markets.